Hi, dear friends. Welcome back to Akshadari. I'm Devraj. I hope you guys are enjoying learning and also following the tips which I have given in the previous videos. So, in the last 3 days, I have not updated any videos related to newspaper and also about the newspaper reading videos due to some reason. So before going to start today newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share with your friends. So even they also can utilize the opportunities. So what we are going to give, provide for the students and the candidates in the upcoming days. So anyhow, at least read the newspaper for 2 hours minimum every day. You will really uh, be very fluent in English in the next 30 days if you are the beginner. So let's start today's newspaper reading. Let's start reading the newspaper. Today newspaper 16th August. This is the front page. No more deemed forest says Odisha. Bindeshwar Pataka Sulabh pound dies. Tomato prices behind high inflation. Trump indicted for pulled racketeering. Tomato prices behind high inflation impact was felt more in the southern states. Spain pips Sweden enters summit clash. Will return with a report card in 2024. Modi says at Red Fort. Country should rid itself of corruption, dynasty politics, and appeasement politics, says PM, who declares that India will be the third largest economy in its next term. Center and state are working together to bring peace in Manipur, he asserts. He asserts. Supreme Court plans expansion of infrastructure. On Independence Day, Stalin seeks transfer of education back to state list. The chief minister says that all subjects that interact with people directly should be put on the state list. Kharge skips PM's address. Rain furry clans more lives in Himachal, Uttarakhand. No violence. Police arrest B2 Bajrangi for wielding weapons. HC bats for animals' rights to live without fear. Orders relocation of 495 families near Tamil Nadu Tiger Zoo. Cookies from Myanmar never caused trouble in Mizoram MP. LG felicitates Ajad Hindu Fauj veteran. Whom should the government serve? You are a few rich, Kejriwal in Independence Day speech. Delhi have bats for providing free power half up to 200 units to citizens across the country. He calls for peace in Manipur, Haryana, saying India can't become a Vishwaguru if such conflicts continue. Lack of low cost living options pinches DU's outstation students. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal slammed the recently passed Delhi Services Act, saying the power of an elected government has been snatched away. Yamuna water rises fast the danger level. Many in city hail welfare plans announced by PM from Red Fort ramparts. Report stolen vehicle on 112 immediately to avoid its use in crime or terror activities. HC launches a cause list for usually impaired people. Karnataka to release Karnataka to release 10 TMC Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu. UP has positioned itself as a prime destination for investment, says CM. Pet dog attacks women infant in Gurugram. Opportunities. Join Indian Oil fuel your career. Forge your path to success. Abscess key abscess. Rajasthan's Annapurna free food packet scheme to benefit 1.10 crore people. The scheme will help realize the government's resolution of no one should sleep hungry in Rajasthan, says GM Gehlot at its launch. It is primarily meant for families covered by National Food Security Act. Kerala by fool, Congress tries to bridge a church divide. Punjab will be drug free by next Independence Day, says CM Man. Two JJF personnel killed in gunfight with mice. Accused in crimes against women will be barred from government jobs, says Bogle. MP Chief Minister announces housing scheme for the poor. JU student death, fresh FIR fire TMC team to meet a victim skin. 275 bird species counted during survey at Corbett Tiger Reserve. Papu Yadav, Mukesh Shahani's pate hangs in balance ahead of Lok Sabha election. Founding ideals of secularism, unity and threat, Kerala CM. Pinarayi urges a caution against efforts being made to impede liberty of various sections, sets the target of converting states into developed middle income society by the 100th year of independence. Karnataka CM wants elements disturbing communal harmony. J&K being recognized for change, peace in 4 years, says LG. Jagan stresses welfare of SCs, STs, BACs and speech. BRS made Telangana model state for country, says KCR. College stop face action. An activist staging a hunger strike against the discrimination of animals in Thiruvananthapuram dynasty. Karnataka HC refuses to squash aircraft data theft case against aerospace engineer. The High Court said it was necessary to regulate the usage of dark web as it provides anonymity. Congress beckons Sharmila, solo entry or YSRCP merge. Kerala likely to face drought due to deficit monsoon. Consumption of based Consumption based poverty estimates have relevance. Let's read this editorial page. A recent report by Niti Aayog on multidimensional poverty shows that the percentage of the poor has gone down from 25% in 2015 to 16 to 15% in 2019 to 21, and around 135 million people were lifted out of poverty during this period. The Global Multidimensional Poverty Index report of 2023 of the United Nations Development Programme and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, which was released recently, also shows that the incidence of the multidimensional poverty index declined from 27.5% in 2015 to 16 to 16.2% in 2019-21 to 21. In this context, we briefly examine the issues, particularly on methodology relating to the multidimensional poverty index, and argue that consumption-based poverty estimates are still very relevant. Multidimensional poverty estimates are not substitutes for national sample survey consumption-based poverty ratios. In the end, we also flag some concerns about consumption expenditure surveys and the need to correct them. Comparison of results. The report of the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index 2018 says India has made momentous progress in reducing multidimensional poverty. The incidence of multidimensional poverty was almost halved between 2005-6 and 2015-16, climbing down to 27.5%. Thus, within 10 years, the number of poor people in India fell by more than 271 million. A truly massive gain. This is a high praise indeed. Is the conclusion of global MPI a new revelation? No. As far as the 2015 to 16 estimates are concerned, the estimates are poverty based on consumer expenditure and using the Tendulkar Committee methodology show over a 7 year period between 2004 to 5 and 2011-12. There, the number of poor came down and down by 137 million despite an increase in population. According to the Rangarajan Committee methodology, the decline between 2009 to 10 and 2011 to 12 is 92 million, which is 46 million per annum. For a decade, it will be larger than the global MPI. However, in absolute terms, the poverty ratios based on the Tendulkar and Rangarajan Committee methodologies are lower than as estimated by global MPI. The search for non-income dimensions of poverty possibly stems from a review that in terms of the capabilities approach to the concept and measurement of poverty. Some of these capabilities may not be tightly linked to the privately purchased consumption basket in terms of which the poverty lines are currently drawn. Therefore, poverty based on income or consumption is different from deprivations based on education or health. As pointed out by the expert group to review the methodology for measuring poverty, there are reservations on using multiple indicators as these multidimensional indicators or measures raise several issues regarding their measurability, aggregation across indicators, and crucially of databases that provide the requisite information at reasonably short intervals. These needs to be considered and evaluated carefully. For example, there is a problem with the child mortality indicator as it is for population groups and not for households. Aggregation is another problem. In principle, they should be independent. Access to safe drinking water, for example, cannot be aggregated with indicators such as child mortality, even in respect of independent indicators. Analytically appropriate rulers aggregation require that all of them related to the same household. More generally, this requirement poses several data constraints. It may be noted that we are not against multidimensional poverty or deprivations. One can analyze the progress of non income indicators such as education, health, sanitation, drinking water, and child mortality over time with income or consumption poverty. But converting all of them into an index poses several problems. Detton and Dredge also indicate that it is important to supplement expenditure based poverty estimates with other indicators of living standards relating, for instance, to nutrition, health, education, and the quality of environment. On multidimensional issues, Srinivasan says viewing public services as another dimension besides consumption in a multidimensional conceptualization of poverty is more fruitful. However, he is critical of multidimensional indices. He says that collapsing many relevant but not necessarily commensurate dimensions into a single index, defined as an arbitrarily weighted sum of the disparate indexes makes little sense. The Human Development Index pioneered by the United Nations Development Programme is an example of an arbitrarily weighted sum of commensurate commensurate dimensions into a single index defined as an arbitrarily weighted sum of the disparate indexes makes a simple little sense. The Human Development Index pioneered by the United Nations Development Program is an example of an arbitrarily weighted sum of non-commensurate indexes. It certainly is not a multidimensional conceptualization in any meaningful sense, but simply yet another arbitrary unidimensional index. In the minds of most people, being rich or poor is associated with the levels of income. The various non income indicators of poverty are, in fact, reflections of inadequate income. Defining poverty in terms of income or in the absence of such data in terms of expenditure seems most appropriate. and it is this method which is followed in most countries. We do not have official data on consumer expenditure after 2011 to 12 to make a comparison with trends in the multidimensional poverty index. The survey data on consumption expenditures done in 2017 to 18 have not been released officially. In the absence of such a data, there have been several studies on poverty using indirect methods and using Center for Monitoring Indian Economy and periodic labor post survey at data sources, and they have come up with differing conclusions. Need for change in service. The consumption expenditure survey is being conducted in current year for purposes of comparison. We need to follow one method. Therefore, it is best to wait for the survey results to be published. Earlier surveys clearly indicated that the poverty ratio comes down strongly during a period of high growth. If you look at recent years, including the COVID 19 period, the growth rate has calmed down. There is ground to believe that the rate of reduction in the poverty ratio must have slowed down. This is at best a guess. We need to wait for consumption expenditure survey data. Important issue is the differences in aggregate consumption estimates between National Accounts Statistics and NSS data. These two estimates of consumption and do not match in any country. India is no exception. What is perplexing is that the difference in India between the NSS and the NAS consumption is widening over time. From a difference of less than 10% in the late 1970s, it has come to 57.1% in 2011-12. That is, the survey estimate is only 46.9% of NAS estimates. The difference is too big to be brushed aside. The National Statistical Office must study the problem and come out with possible suggestions to improve the collection of data through both routes. In addition, there is a need to supplement the results of consumption surveys with a study of the impact of public expenditure on health and education of different expenditure classes. This is about the poverty survey. Let's go to the next editorial article, which was written by a professor of statistics, Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata. Understanding the dance steps of numbers. In a write-up in a Sankhya, the Indian Journal of Statistics in 1934, Tagore referred to the magic of mathematics as the dance steps of numbers in the arena of time and space, which wave the Maya of appearance, the incessant flow of changes that ever is and is not. As today's data obsessed world aspires to make data driven decisions on every bit of life and a lifestyle. And one has to determine how the Maya is woven and what data might genuinely offer. Analyzes the and findings. An example first, the findings of a study that provided independent analysts with nearly 4 million words from roughly 8,000 comments in an online academic forum were described in a paper in organizational behavior and human decision processes by a large collaborative group of scientists. The study posed two straightforward hypotheses about how gender and academic status influence contributions to the forum's discussions. Within 29 studies, radically weighed analysis and disparate empirical findings were reported. Several cases and had significant effects in opposite directions for the same research question. Had it been only a single analyst using a single method, one would have stopped at that result. What is mentioned above is but one instance of conflicting conclusions drawn from the same data by several experts. Such situations may, of course, cause a great deal of controversy if the data are or topic are of public interest. Such a situation may seem weird at first. As a result, the common person is perplexed. They are unsure about the causes of these discrepancies and, more crucially, whose analysis to trust. Even experts struggle to comprehend the merits of various contradictory conclusions. Well, statistical analysis are not unique, especially when different methodologies are used. Interestingly, depending on the models and the associated margins of error, all findings could be correct, even if they are contradictory in nature. However, certain analysis may contain significant errors, but it is never easy to identify them, even for experts. The history of civilization shows that the conclusion drawn from the simple observation that the sun crosses the sky every day could even be vague and contradictory. It took centuries to settle the issue. Thus, domain expertise is necessary. Generic statistical aptitude alone is insufficient so far as data analysis are concerned. Answer to a model. How is it possible that the same data could lead to contradictory conclusions? This is normal, though, as statistical analysis really on an underlying model to explain the pattern of the data. Thus, the decision making processes depend heavily on these models, the relevant metrics, and the associated margin of error for drawing conclusions. While any statistical decision is subject to some margin of error, a common person is frequently unaware of this. Additionally, models are created using the expertise and judgment of the statisticians concerned. Interestingly, George E.P. Box, a British statistician, is credited with the famous quote: "All models are wrong, but some are useful," and a suitable model is frequently not statistically chosen before doing an analysis. Thus, understanding the causality underlying a phenomenon should serve as the foundation for any data analysis. Let us consider as well known example the gender bias data for admissions for the autumn of 1973 at the University of California, Berkeley. According to the data, just 35% of women applicants were admitted, compared to 44% of men who applied. A significant enough difference is to be explained by chance. A comprehensive examination of the data, however, revealed that different departments had varying degrees of difficulty admitting students, and that men tended to apply to less competitive departments with higher acceptance rates, while women tended to apply to more competitive departments with lower admission rates. The department wise data actually revealed a small but statistically significant bias in favor of women. In Delhi in 1947, sensing the heartbeats of data is a tricky task in itself. Another example, a few members of a minority community took a refuge in the Red Fort during the communal riots in Delhi in 1947. The number was unknown to the government, and the contractors hired to feed them charged high amounts. A team from the Indian Statistical Institute obtained three estimates of the number by dividing the quantities of rice, pulses, and salt used per day, as quoted by the contractors by the respective per capita requirements of these commodities. The estimate obtained by rice was the largest, and the salt estimate was the least. Since rice was the most expensive, but its quantity was presumably inflated, and because salt was inexpensive, the contractors did not use it that way. The ISI team suggested using the quantity obtained from salt as an estimate of the number of refugees. It demonstrates how statistical expertise, wisdom, and a solid understanding of reality are all essential for fully grasping the dance steps of numbers, but extracting the best out of data is never easy. Only top statistical experts, along with experts with divine knowledge, may at most aspire to perform that job. This is about the statistics, understanding statistics reality. A size for foretold. Inflation could undermine broader consumption and economic growth. Let's go to the next page. Avoiding the age of moderation. A calculated risk for assembly polls. At Telangana's parties are weighing to put out the candidate list well in advance. Avoiding the age of moderation. Tomato prices behind high inflation. South India most eat. Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Telangana recorded high vegetable inflation in July. Wow, it's in the mid of the page. Prefabricated houses for those displaced in Manipur. The number of years since Taliban's return to power, the number of Rohingyas arrested by Myanmar, Adani buys measures taken quintillion business media, the number of felony counts charged against Donald Trump, the Myanmar junta's empty gestures. The Myanmar army has top decision makers currently bunkered in the capital. Naypyidaw struggled to maintain control of enough territory to seriously contemplate even a heavily staged managed nationwide fool. Under these volatile conditions, people have been fleeing abroad or taking up arms. Why is the Kavi water sharing issue playing up again? What prompted the Tamil Nadu government to move the affix court? How has the Karnataka CM reacted? Analyzing the crisis of democracy in post colonial countries. Countries that want to arrest a democratic backsliding would be more successful if they have a vibrant civil society and strong links between civil society and political parties. The Amazon's rainforest, covering much of Brazil, is the world's largest tropical rainforest. Here is a quiz on the forest famed for its biodiversity. Will return with report card in 2024, says Modi. With amended act kicking in, Odisha has no deemed forest. Experts say the state government's interpretation of the Forest Act will hand up accelerating deforestation. The order sent to district officials is in conflict with Environment Ministry's assurances that deemed forest will remain protected. Four Nagaland villages pledged to oppose Forest Act. Russian made stealth frigates delayed yet again. Now expected in May October. Caught between Taliban curbs and India's no visa policy. In October 9, 2016, India and Russia signed an intergovernmental agreement for four stealth frigates. Don't blame cookies from Myanmar, Mizoram MP. Bendeshwar Pataka, who brought in public toilet revolution, dies at Haiti. Vishwakarma Yojana soon for traditional artisans. PM announces new housing scheme for urban poor, low interest rate loans and offer. The initiative will benefit families that live in unauthorized colonies, slums, or rented houses in various cities, says Modi. He adds that weaker sections living in cities face a plethora of problems. Koge skips PM's Red Fort address. Congress calls it a crass election speech. Red Fort sees a diverse audience. G20 presidency and abiding team. Who should get you at a cheaper, it says Modi. Gandhi was one of the greatest ethical leaders. Rukana. 9,423 SC verdicts translated into regional languages. The project includes translating Supreme Court judgments and providing summaries of the verdicts. SC plans expansion of infra e-courts to offer national link. The CJI says overall of the court infrastructure is necessary on a priority basis to make them more accessible and inclusive. Odds that new projects will modernize the judicial infrastructure. Nothing clandestine about my Pune meeting with the uncle. India became independent to enlighten the world. Bhagavat. Independence Day, world leaders greet PM Indian citizens. Manipur CM appeals Puffy says violence will not bring development. India China agree to resolve remaining issues, says MEA. Thus, two sides had a positive, constructive, and in-depth discussion on the resolution of the remaining issues along the LAC. Celebrating past in New Year. Israeli troops killed two Palestinians in raid on occupied West Bank. South Korean president calls Japan partner on Liberation Day. Putin calls for closer cooperation with North Korea in a message to Kim. Nepal PM to embark on 10-day visit to US and China on September 16. Trump indicted for colluding to overturn 2024 results. Ukraine military resources are almost exhausted Russia. At least 35 dead in blast at Russian fuel station. Myanmar has arrested nearly 150 fleeing Rohingyas members. The 127 Rohingyas men and 118 women were arrested on Friday in southern Mon state. Taliban mark 2 years since return to Kabul. Gun battles between rival armed groups killed two and shut down airport in Libya. June exports tally raised by 1.4 billion. Outbound shipments in June have turned out to be higher than the 8-month low of 32.97 billion reported earlier. The increase has been driven largely by a 1.1 billion rise in petroleum products exports compared with the initial assessment. Cafe Coffee Day turns profit of 25 crore in June quarter. Adani to buy remaining 51% stake in Quantillion Media. Indigo's Gangwal looks to sell 4% stake. India's imports from Russia doubled to 425.4 billion in April to July. Mahindra unveils a lightweight compact tractor in Cape Town. CA maintains cotton crop estimates at over 311 lakh bales. India accounts for 35% of cargo handled via Russia's Arctic Murmansk port this year. Sri Lanka all-rounder Asaranga announces retirement from Tests. Cummins highs return during ODI series against India in September. Venus rallies from a big deficits to beat 16th ranked Kudermetova. Neymar moves to AI Milal for a record Saudi League fee. Arjun overpowers Prague. Carl Stern outwits Gokesh. Historic moment for Indian chess, says Anand. Vidit holds a slight edge in the first half of his game against Abasu before their 109 move battle ends with Honors Shivan. Farage lets slip a big advantage, allows Caruana to escape with a draw. Carmona's late strike seals Spain's maiden final berth. Everything is going to be new for Bumrah. Bumrah, says Balaji. Stokes set to come out of retirement to play World Cup. Indian football legend Habib passes away. Australia, England to battle it out in the semi-finals. Manchester United scrapes past Wolverhampton. The Red Devils walk away with a 1-0 win after failing to gain control over the first match of the Premier League season. The contest also marked the competitive debuts of goalkeeper Andre Onana and Mason Mount for the home side. Prajwal gets past Carlo Venlonis in the first round. England all-rounder Vokes backs YCC Port Award. Man City defender Luis signs a new 5-year contract. Sanjay Selvamani makes his way into history books. TNCA Z11 on top after bowling out Kerala for 218. Vinesh pulls out due to knee injury, clears way for Pangal inclusion. The Indian fans' passion drives world cricket, yet they are made to struggle. Tilak Verma, a silver lining in World Cup quad age. With the ODI marquee event only 6 weeks away, there is once again no clarity on who will don a key role. The Southpaw offers hope that the team has found a suitable option for the middle order slot, which is the most pressing concern. Rohit Sharma has been a great support system for me. He always tell me to enjoy the game, and he helps me helps me handle the pressures of playing international cricket. When we were together at Mumbai Indians, Rohit said that I'm an all former cricketer. This gave me a huge boost in confidence. Anjali Bhagwat lends an element of fun to shooting with Panduk, reimagining the role of state universities in science education. Today, science education and training as at state affiliated colleges and universities is subpar. The curricula in BSc programs are largely outdated, with syllabi out of sync with contemporary technologies. These courses also offer sufficient practical training and with inadequate and poorly maintained laboratory facilities. India produces over 25 lakh graduates in science, technology, energy engineering, and mathematics every year across bachelor's and master's courses. Cramp and relief. Cramp and relief. Why do people get cramps, and does the message help? This is the last page, guys. Anyhow, continue the reading for next 2 hours. At least read the text and context page. It will make you to complete at least 2 hours in a day. So I hope you guys have enjoying the newspaper reading, and please subscribe the channel and like and comment, and also leave the comment if you have any doubts or any queries related to education and related to exams or competitive exams are related to Sanskrit learning. So I am happy to help you out, resolve your doubts, help you out to resolve your doubts. Anyhow, see you in the upcoming videos, guys. And once again, I'm repeating you, please subscribe the channel, like and comment for more videos related to healthcare education and personal interviews, especially in the field of education. So, and see you. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.